I keep on trying to convince them that we have to learn that dance of being and doing, like right in the moment when you're busy, when you are that that's the time it's really fruitful. If you have to just sit back and go to the Himalayas or ashrams and do it, it's okay. That's for a different set of people and they do it. But we are all, busy in our own lives. We are working, we are homemakers, we are teachers. And we need to just bring that, balance of doing and being. So, I think all of us will agree, each one of us, that we are, what we are experiencing is something called a paid reality. This was given by this is the psychologist, Howard Erasmus, where pressure is always on us. Pressure to perform, pressure to achieve, pressure to meditate, pressure to be more spiritual, pressure to be calmer, any kind of pressure. And we are always supposed to be on. There's no demarcation between our professional or, personal life. Always on. Information overload. As a doctor, I can see patients are coming already with their diagnosis and treatment and everything. They just want a, kind of take care. I don't have a prescription, I'm not a doctor, so you just write it. So that is what everything, and with the advent of AI, it's going to be, much worse. And distraction, which Charles already told about. Yes, there's so much of distraction. And because of this, again, as Professor Charu mentioned, that despite achieving a lot, and
Professor Charu,
either materially or professionally, something seems to be lacking. There's something lacking in each one of us, and that's why many of us are here also. And probably that is because we don't have enough being in our lives. It's full of doing, and let us see what being is about. Doing, we know, is more analytical. It is that striving, straining, achieving. And being is more expansive. It's more effortless. It is characterized by curiosity, acceptance, the beginner's mind. And there's a willingness to embrace uncertainty and to explore the unknown. Being is about presence, awareness, and intuition, where you feel grounded and connected to this moment. While doing, of course, is about action, hustle, chasing. But when doing is disconnected from being, then it causes problems of exhaustion and burnout. So we need to shift from force to flow, and that is what this, being and doing is all about. There's a wonderful Latin term called hurry slowly. It sounds so paradoxical that you have to hurry, but how can you hurry when you are taking a pause? But that is what it is. It is about being more efficient, by taking those small deliberate pauses, even in the midst of your activity, where you can reset your nervous system and feel grounded again. We have both these systems in our bodies, the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. But what is happening is, most of the time, it is our sympathetic system which is on the go, and we don't allow that parasympathetic nervous system to function. So there are few simple strategies. As I said, I'm very passionate about this, and a few years ago, I gave a TEDx talk also. You're welcome to go through it, The Art of Doing and Being. I'll share some strategies which I have personally found useful, and some other people too. Maybe you can try it and share your feedback later. The gift of presence, which is all what this afternoon is all about, this is the hallmark of being and doing. And it is part of all the strategies which I'm going to share. And as Professor Charu so eloquently mentioned, that it's about the ability to be in this moment as it is, with acceptance and in a non-judgmental way. And as Eckhart Tolle, who actually I would say his Power of Now, so many have read the book, and it in fact changed my whole life. And what he says is so relevant, that we use this moment as a stepping stone to the other moment. We just use it as an obstacle. This moment को निपटा देना है, because the other moment is so important. But what is the other moment? But it is this moment itself. But we never realize that, And because of that, we are always living in that autopilot mode. You know, presence or mindfulness is about being more aware of your day-to-day normal, actions. Because we are not present, and because of this, lack of mindfulness, what we have experienced is mind wandering. And there was a very eloquent Harvard study which showed that up to 46% of people, they had mind wandering or their attention was not focused. I would say that's a very low number, because actually if you come to look at it, it will be much more. And because of mind wandering, there's decreased efficiency, decreased wellness, decreased productivity, and increased stress and unhappiness. Now, presence, of course, there's a formal practice. We'll do Charu also shared a practice, and I'll also share a small practice. But what makes it more relevant is when we use it in our day-to-day lives. The use of senses is so powerful. Senses are always with us. Whether you are looking, seeing, touch, taste, anything, just this glass of water. And if we simply, just feel that the touch of the glass against the hand, it's that the touch sense is activated, and then we are taking a sip in awareness. If we do that also, that these simple actions can bring us. Just looking at, something without necessarily labeling it. What happens is, the problem is very often, for example, you look at a beautiful scenery or a picture, for one moment your attention is arrested, and then you say, oh yeah, but this was better, or who has painted this, or, I have lost that ability just to look, looking without thinking. So these are the things where we can become more present in, with whatever activities. And mindfulness on the go. They are very useful 4 P's of mindfulness, which we can do it right from the time we are waking up to the time we sleep, which is, tea, transition, telephone, and topic. So we always are taking a tea or coffee break. We have those mandatory breaks, and that is the time where we can again pause, reconnect with ourselves, sip that tea or coffee in as mindfully as we can. That is that anyway we are taking that break, but mostly it is in that autopilot mode. We can bring ourselves into awareness. Transition, we are always is the time where you're just again, coming back to the moment, walking mindfully. So transition of any kind. For example, if we are going home, just when you're opening the car door or you're going in the metro or whatever, you can just, come, pause, and become present again. Telephone, we are always on the phones, and it's not possible all the time to be mindful, but you can use sometimes the cue of a notification can bring you into the present moment. And toilet, the washrooms, we are using it. The contact of water against our hands, the feel of soap, water, and our hands, that is such a wonderful moment to come into presence again. So these are very simple steps which we can all do in whatever position we are. Just the art of doing nothing. Because doing is all about doing, and each of us Sundays also, we have got a big list of, the plumbers and things like that, so many things. So we have just lost the art of not doing anything. Nixon is just about, just racing about, strolling, or taking a leisurely walk. And we all know about FOMO, the fear of missing out. But what is more important is JOMO, that joy of missing out, and just hanging around without any agenda, And you can create a Nixon space in your house. This is my simple room. I just sit in a corner, and everyone knows that, okay, after my hospital, if they want to find me, they'll find me over there, maybe just sitting in awareness, or sometimes meditating, whatever. So we can create those, Nixon moments and Nixon space in our house. Then, again, Professor Charu mentioned about space. Now, if we look around this room, what we are seeing is, people, furniture, their glasses, tables and chairs. But what is the essence of this room? What makes this room what it is? It is space. And that is something which we never really, are familiar with. We look at everything, the objects, but never that space. And why is space so important? Because we are always on that endless, treadmill running about, just doing one activity to another, and we don't have space to step back and pause and become more compassionate. Janice Marturano, who's a very famous life coach of CEOs, she had once done a very nice study, and she asked all the CEOs, if you were given anything, say more power, more money, more position, or whatever, what is it that you would want more than anything else? And most of them said that they wanted a little more space. Just space to, process things a bit more, empathetically, compassionately, because all the time we are overwhelmed. In that response lies our growth and freedom. And this was quoted by none other than Viktor Frankl. He was, in prison for so many years. And later on he wrote such a wonderful book. So I think we can all use that space. And I think someone had mentioned that it's like the magic quarter second. And really, it's just a fraction of a second. But even if you get that extra, pause or extra space, that can make all the difference. Now, a lot of you are cricket fans, and when we watch Vaibhav Suryavanshi or, earlier Kohli or Tendulkar, what we admire about the cricketers is, the best batsmen have that extra space where you see the ball a little in advance and then you, hit the ball. So that space, we all have that. And one of the best ways about creating a little more space within us is to take these small pauses. Small pauses, just maybe grounding yourself, feeling yourself against a chair in between work. You can just take, as the last lecture mentioned, stop. That is just one pause. Stop, take one breath, just one breath, not even two. Observe whatever is happening. There's some restlessness, agitation, and then proceed. So that is one small pause, which seems like, what can that half a minute do? But it can do a lot. And again, because, some practical examples, this is just before an endoscopy. So these are things which we all can do in whatever position we are. And one of the most beautiful strategies is savoring. Savoring is something we all do. Very often we are not aware of it. It's just lingering on to a positive and a pleasurable moment to prolong it. And very often we encounter such good moments. Someone has given us a good compliment, or we have a tasty snack, but most of the time again, it's in that, we are always busy and it's in that autopilot mode. But if we spend a few extra seconds just savoring it, then even something like a cup of tea can be such a wonderful occasion. And not only is it just nice, but there have been a lot of studies which have shown that savoring increases our well-being, productivity, and even longevity. And Rick Hansen has given this wonderful statement that a mind is doomed, it has a negativity bias, and it is like Velcro for bad experience and Teflon for pleasant ones, meaning that if, there's something negative happening, we latch on to it, but the pleasant experiences, we just allow it to wash off. And by savoring, we are just, absorbing those pleasant experiences and creating positive neuroplasticity. So these are all very simple methods. And fifth is awe. We know what awe is, but when we think of awe, we are thinking of the, Taj Mahal or Niagara, something very, because awe is a sense of aliveness and timelessness and expansiveness. But we have these ordinary moments of awe. When we are present, then we start noticing things, and we can notice all around us. This room is so beautiful. IIC, the whole center is so beautiful. Many of us may have just automatically in that auto mode just come here. But when we are, just present, taking a little pause, this becomes an awe moment. So we can create those, simple awe moments every day, making a small practice of 3 awe moments a day. And there's something else which Dashiell Kantner talks about, the moral beauty of awe. And these are simple acts of courage which we see every day. Like in the hospital, I often see, how the relatives and the attendants are, just taking care of their ill relatives. It's so, such a courageous act. And all over the place, we can see these small moments of courage, and that actually brings us into awe. So we don't have to always make those, grand trips for awe. It's all around us. And the last strategy is flow. And again, this is something which I love a lot. And we all experience it. It's something like where you are doing an activity and so absorbed and enthralled with it that you lose all sense of time and self. It can be music, dance, sports, or reading, And this term was given by the psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi many years ago. There's a book of about flow, which many of you may have read it. And it's the driving force behind the peak experiences. And so many of us can recall Yuvraj Singh 6 6s. We equate flow as being in the zone with sportsmen and musicians. But the best part is that we all experience it. We can all experience flow, and we can be in that zone. One of the prerequisites is getting out of the way, because we ourselves come in the way of flow. When things are going very well, it's something within us says, oh no, it can't be so good. So we can just experience those moments of flow. Even something like group dance, or this is something called group flow. So we are experiencing it all the time. And actually, all these strategies are, it's not just to give a talk and all, it's for our everyday experience in whichever field. I was invited to give a small talk on, this, a lot of CEOs and CFOs were there talking about the great integration, where they were talking about technology, talent, and transformation. So I was the only non-technical person, and what I said is that this integration of technology and talent can only happen if there is presence. If we are more present, we are more mindful and empathetic, and most of them agree to that. So Barnett Bain, in the book of Being and Doing, he says that a whole life is a creative act. It's not just that creativity is something isolated, and we need to fall in love with the cha-cha-cha, the dance of doing and being. So where there's action, pause, presence, and again action. And this integration of will and effort with intuition and allowing. Actually, there's a very beautiful poem, but the video couldn't come. It's about, I hope you make it, by a poet, Maxim Maxner. Actually, this is I would say, the whole epitome of presence or mindfulness, in which she says that, she just has this simple kind of a prayer for people who she meets, strangers in the street. I hope you make it. I hope you catch the bus. I hope you have a nice morning, a nice cup of tea. So that is what we need to do. When we are more present and more mindful, we are more empathetic, we notice more. And at the end, I'll leave you with this slide by Donna Stone, that the most visible creators are those artists whose medium is life itself. The ones who express the inexpressible without brush, hammer, clay, or guitar. They neither paint nor sculpt. Their medium is simply being. Whatever their presence touches has increased life. They see but don't have to draw, because they are the artists of being alive. And all of us as such artists, life is a creative act, and we just need to be a little more present, a bit mindful, and thank you so much.
Very nice. That was Dr. Dubey on mindfulness and
I'll just to end with a small, maybe 5-minute meditation, where we can just simply close our eyes. It's about just being, the whole theme was about doing and being. So maybe we can take just a few seconds and, you know.
You had the last slide
Yeah.
of being versus doing.
Oh,
Third
yeah,
last.
sure.
Can I?
Yes, sure.
Third last.
Allow everything to be as it is. You know, most of the time we are trying to manipulate things कि ऐसा होना चाहिए, वैसा होना चाहिए. But just let us allow ourselves to give the luxury of allowing everything to be as it is. Just close your eyes and feel your feet against the ground, your clothes against a chair, simply noticing the breath coming. You know, we think we do a lot of things, but something as simple and essential as the breath, it's just coming. We are not doing, we can't do anything. So just notice that your breathing, your breath is coming in and out without any effort from your side. We think things can only be done by effort, but we just need to just allow ourselves the luxury of not doing anything, just sitting. Maybe you can observe your breath coming in and out through your nose or the chest, and letting whatever thoughts or sensations or emotions are there, just allowing it to be as it is, without trying to stop it, without trying to suppress or manipulate. Just being present and open. If thoughts come too much, we can just come back to our breath again and just breathe normally. There is no need to take any deep or shallow breath. Simply sitting, not resisting what is happening. Either our thoughts may be crowded or but we are the sky. Just be like the sky where things can come, hang around and go. The sky remains the same. So we can just stay, just being present and aware, letting whatever sensations are there to be as it is, without any agenda. Just being. Actually, that is the essence of being. And when we just rest in this beingness, we realize that it's actually a very precious gift which we don't often give to ourselves. Simply being aware of whatever is happening. There may be some sounds. You can notice the sound of my voice, the door opening, closing. We don't need to judge any of it. We don't need to modify anything. Just allowing thoughts to come and hang around. And if we don't resist it or if we don't fight it, you'll see that they just come, hang around and they go on. We are here, you are here. The thoughts are coming and going. Actually, we are not our thoughts, there is that distance. But we can notice that only when we are, just sitting, just being aware and present. Simply being present to life, whatever it is happening, whatever is unfolding, we can allow it and we can just stay here. Any sounds, any sensations, just let them come and go. I'm not trying to think whether I'm doing it right or, the next thought comes up, next I have to do this activity. Just for this moment, just be like this without needing to change anything, without needing to modify anything, without resisting anything, accepting this moment as it is. We can ask ourselves from time to time, can I allow this moment to be as it is? And just stay and just be aware. So this is something we can do it time and again in our daily lives whenever we feel overwhelmed or we feel that there's a lot to do, you can just take those small 1 or 2 minutes pause and just see whether can I allow it just to be like it as it is, and can I just be allowing things to be as they are, and just sinking into this presence and beingness, which is vast and expansive and as spacious as the sky. And so we don't have to feel that we are confined within our thoughts and emotions. They can come, hang around, and whenever you feel comfortable, you can just rub your hands together and put it over your face and just come back to this. Thank you so much.